Shit like that. Yeah, we got Teflon done. Too smooth. Okay, thing that cost $5. That's right. Yeah, we up here. We're going to talk about this LUCCI. Great champagne. Should be released in less than 3 months. That's good.
Wyatt and Lucci linked up with some bloods from Miami, had them sliding on his ops in Atlanta. But the situation was left jump. Now they're all facing years in prison. We're breaking down the shocking beat that ended with shootings, stabbings, and murder. Wyatt and Lucci and his homies have been sitting in jail for years after they got hit with the RICO and murder case. Lucci was just sliding dudes from Atlanta though. Back in 2020, Lucci linked up with some bloods from Florida called the Miami Boys. They started making music with a rapper from the crew called CP3 in court documents.
Hey, Too Smooth, I got a question for you. While you live in Atlanta, are you hip to these guys that you talking about, the Miami Boys?
I mean, I heard them, but I ain't just,
Right.
know too much about them, but I've heard about them.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and listen to a little bit more of this.
They said they helped Lucci put music videos in a part of Miami normal dudes can't visit. CP3 and his homie Liz and Liddy both rep a blood set called 13th Ave, aka Bloodhounds or BH. BH is one of the most notorious gangs in North Miami. This isn't the first time CP3 has spent time locked up. He was arrested back in 2015 for weapon possession and running from the cops. Then a couple of years later, he caught a robbery charge and was locked up until 2020. Going to prison obviously didn't slow him down at all, though, because a few months later, he was in Atlanta shooting at Lucci's ops. In December 2020, Wyatt and Lucci, his homie James Adams, and CP3 and Liddy went sliding into op territory. According to reports, Adams was reporting the whole thing on his cell phone.
So, who is this CP3? You familiar with this guy?
No, not really know CP3.
So James Adams is the guy that was in the car with him that got shot, got killed. That was one of his best friends, they said.
But he had no idea that he was about to lose his life. A lot of dudes from the street, and that's when CP3 and Adams got out of the whip and started letting off shots. They caught one of the dudes in the stomach, but the other side busted right back and hit Adams in the head. Wyatt and Lucci was the one driving, and he sped off when the ops started shooting back. Adams might have survived, but instead of taking him to the hospital, his homies pushed him out of the whip and left him to die in the street. A witness on Adams bleeding out on the road called 911 for help. She told him,
No, that's what I'm talking about. They say his homies pushed him out on the road. No way that Lucci could push him out in the road if he was driving.
Right. It's clear though. Why would you kick him out though? That's my whole thing. Like,
Right. The only thing I can sit there and say that is that those cats in the back, they probably panicked. Because you know what I mean,
they ain't want to get tied to that shit.
I mean, they was already tied to it. Once he wants to shoot, wants to shoot cat. Because remember, they said the boy hit one of them was hit in the stomach. When they hit, the boy got hit in the head. So that's where the blood was gonna be all over everybody anyway. You know what I mean? So therefore, I'm just figuring once boy got hit in the head, that blood got on them, they got scared, so they pushed him about that blood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking they kicked him out, the motherfucker. They tried to let them, just get them down. You know what I'm saying?
Now, here's another thing. Why would Adams be recording that? Now that's something that's, that's that makes my spidey sense, tingle. Like, if you go in there to kill a motherfucker, why am I recording this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless I was already a sitting duck in one way or another, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? You got that right, man? Or did I give it right to you? Oh, here's that. Check out a little bit more.
Told the operator that he was still alive, but by the time they got to the hospital, it was already too late, and James Adam was pronounced dead that day. It's not clear exactly how the cops were able to track Lucci and other dudes down so fast, but in January 2021, police issued warrants for the three of them, and Lucci turned himself in. Informers said that Adams basically reported everything before he was shot. So if the cops found his phone after his homies left him in the street, they probably had everything they needed to make the arrest. After a couple of years fighting the case, Lucci, CP3, and Liddy all took plea deals instead of going to trial.
So that's what happened. My man, James Adams got shot in the head. Once the police got his phone, they went through his phone and seen that my man James Adams was recording all this different stuff. So they found out everything how it happened. And that's where the stupidity comes in at. And this new era, fam. They constantly use this recording. Anything happen, the first thing they do is pull out their phones and start recording. And now you can see that right there is the first thing that'll be they use against you.
Oh yeah. You use everything against you. You use your social media. You gonna use your rapping. You gonna use that against you.
Right. The same words that's why they say the same words you say can be used and will be used against you.
Yeah. Anything you say is gonna anything incriminating, they got you.
Right. True story.
That's another reason they get caught up because they're saying a lot of stuff on these songs and their lyrics.
Right. Because a lot of people can't wait to tell you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to know something about somebody, just be quiet. Wait a minute, they can't wait to tell you. I'm saying they can't wait to tell you.
Right. People love misery and drama, so
Right.
As soon as it hit the internet, somebody gonna pick up on it and run with it, and somebody else gonna pick up on it and run with it, and it's gonna keep on going.
Right. So, this whole case started as a murder case. It ended up as a RICO case. We're going to check out a little bit more of this overlay.
They were all facing murder and RICO charges. It ended up with life in prison or the death penalty. But instead, CP3 went down for 25 years, Liddy got 15, and Lucci was handed down a sentence for 10 years in prison and another 10 on probation. CP3 and Liddy might have had some help in the jail by him, but getting locked up in Atlanta almost got CP3 killed. In August 2023, a video came out showing him getting jumped on the stabbed by a bunch of dudes who are allegedly affiliated with YSL. Luckily, CP3 made it out alive, but he's not the only one who almost died. After Lucci got locked up, someone tried to shank him behind bars. Lucci claimed there was a bag on his head. According to reports, two YSL affiliates like Big Chris and Tony Sumlin asked Young Thug for permission to kill Lucci, and the YSL affiliate and J-Man was the one who allegedly stabbed him.
So now they said, my man's gonna ask Young Thug for permission to stab Lucci. So now I say that to say, things like this. You got this guy constantly coming at this person, and you got this guy constantly, he's standing strong as far as we don't fuck with the police. You know what I'm saying? We can kind of like, oh yeah, it's alleged that a YSL affiliate named J-Man is the one that stabbed Lucci after getting permission from Young Thug in the Fulton County Jail. Um, they say the war, with YSL and YSN been going on for years, but I really don't understand that they both, two blood gangs. Why is they warring with each other for one? It's just my opinion about that. I thought, they supposed to be a brotherhood, so to speak, but it's just my opinion on that. Um, because if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day they was once, cool with each other. They both came up in that in zone 3, so they had to be affiliated with one another in one way or the other. I guess Young Thug repped a gang called ROC in zone 3 called Raised on Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. And then from that, I think Young Thug started his own movement, with YSL, from the guy that was, ROC Raised on Cleveland. And they came Young Slime Life after that. And Lucci, he represented a, Atlanta blood gang called Atlanta Blood Gang, or either ABG, which is also under the umbrella of the Inglewood Inglewood Bloods.
For the cops to get arrest. Now, 5 white celebrities have been charged, and the cops said others are one who rented the car used for the hit. Rich from one of them seriously the rich gang just a couple months later. Some people think it all started with Big Nut dying, but Thug might have actually been involved with Quan's dad getting shot too. A few months before Big Nut was killed, Quan's dad was shot inside a barbershop and barely survived. And according to some paperwork that leaked, Rich homie Quan thought Thug had something to do with it. Quan's dad allegedly had issues with Birdman and didn't want Quan to sign with him. And that's why Birdman and Thug allegedly wanted him dead. Quan rapped about his dad getting shot on the track Daddy and said, "When I see him in that ICU room, boy, I went crazy because I couldn't see my daddy like that. That's my baby. In other words, he my best friend. I talk to him daily."
So in other words, it seems that Rich homie Quan also had beef with Young Thug as far as that. I guess he when his daddy got shot, they were saying Young Thug had something to do with his daddy being shot because his daddy didn't want Rich homie Quan signing with Birdman, and so it's just a lot of backdooring one another. You know what I mean? And everybody know each other. The only people that can really get in close to you is the people that know you. That's crazy. So we're gonna get into this thing a little bit more. We're gonna listen to a little bit more of this thing about these guys.
He can't help you in a situation. If Rich homie Quan thought Young Thug was involved with his dad getting hit up, it makes sense that he would fall back from him. Their beef left a lot of fans disappointed.
Right.
But Thug and wife and Lucci's war was about to leave a lot of bodies in the street. The first time fans heard about the beef was when Lucci started sending shots at Thug on social media. He made posts about hooking up with Thug's fiance, Jerica Carlia, and even posted some alleged DMs where they were talking about taking a shower together. Thug didn't really clap back at first. He just tweeted a shout out to Lucci and called him a young king and said he was trying to get on. Then Lucci took the disrespect to another level by tweeting a video of Thug's daughter with the caption, #Long live Nut forever.
With that being said, you would have to say that if he posts a picture of Long and say "Long live Nut," of my man's daughter saying "Long live Nut." So in other words, what he's doing, he's implicating that Young Thug them has something to do with killing Nut. So watch your daughter. She may be the one that's being killed next. So it's kind of like signs and symbols and nonverbals. So you gotta really watch nonverbals and pay attention to those. Because ain't nobody gonna tell you, that they ain't shit. They're just gonna show you that. So you gotta pretty much watch what people do. Watch what they do, fuck what they say, because what they say ain't really, that ain't what's really meant. It's all about what they do. Yeah, we're gonna listen to a little bit more of this.
Young Thug dropped his mixtape Jeffrey in 2017 and ran up huge numbers. Plus, the cover art went viral because Thug was wearing a dress. Lucci kept his own momentum up by collabing with artists like PNB Rock and dropping new projects. For a couple months, it seemed like everything was cool. But then in June 2017, Thug dropped a project on Tupac's birthday. He told everyone on Twitter that he did it because he's a new Tupac. That Lucci.
But you know, they say the remark that really sparked fuel in this really beef right here with these two cats. This one right here.
For a couple months, it seemed like everything was cool. But then in June 2017, Thug dropped a project on Tupac's birthday. He told everyone on Twitter that he did it because he's a new Tupac. Then Lucci tweeted, Pac would have never wore a dress. So Thug clapped back and said, thank God you were able to take care of your mama. Be humble. Doing too much, become a deep sleep. At birth.
Now, someone take a shot at your mother. I don't care who you is. You know what I mean? That's something that you gotta address. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna address that situation. You know, so that's why, you know what I mean, I don't approach things with words. I don't go back and forth with words because you know what I mean, you gotta stand on those words that you say. You know, when someone mentions your mother about anything, you know what I mean, that's something that will, you know what I mean, make you do what you don't want to do, but what you have to do. You know, that's just that, you know. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more of this right here.
Young Thug were just taking shots at each other on social media. But in 2018, everyone realized how deadly the beef really was. Thug's homie YSL Duke was leaving a strip club in Atlanta where two dudes started following him. Duke knew something was up and turned around to see who it was. And that's when one of the dudes upped his strap and started letting off shots. Duke ran behind the vehicle while the shots were popping off and managed to get away without getting hit. Someone later got booked for the shooting, and rumors were going around that Duke had snitched on him. But then some paperwork came out that proved he wasn't working with the cops. Thug and Lucci went back to the social media beef, and Thug said he was going to slap Lucci the next time he saw him. And just a few weeks later, Lucci's car was shot up. Police rode up to the scene and found Lucci's G-Wagon full of bullet holes and somebody inside who had been shot 2 times. Lucci wasn't even in the whip, but the cops think he was the target. Right after Lucci.
You know, now you can really actually see what this back and forth talking, this internet beefing really gets a person. You know what I mean? You know, they was going back and forth with all this talking. This, this, and that. You know what I mean? Shooting up each other's car to the point where you know what I mean. It's not them that's getting hit. You know what I mean? It's innocent. You know what I mean? People that's you know what I mean. Affiliated with them that's getting hit and that's getting killed. So you're gonna have to understand that you know what I mean that you know what I mean that keyboard killer. You know what I mean? He dies faster than anybody. You know what I mean? So watch what you say on the internet. You know what I mean? Watch your back and forth thing. You know what I mean? Because after all this, you know what I mean, they even went to Lucci's after that beef, after his homeboy got shot up, you know what I mean, in his truck, and they thought that he was the target. They went to his homeboy Nuts' grave. You know what I mean? They spray painted slat on there. I don't know what that means. SLATT slat. Um, however they whatever goes on, but you know what I mean. But that's the most disrespectful thing that you can do is go to someone's grave and spray paint or degrade anything in any way to the dead. You know what I mean? I don't mess with that. Me personally. I honor that. I don't say nothing about people. I don't even talk. You know what I mean? Me personally, if we gonna get it, we gonna get it. We ain't gotta do no talking. What we talking for? We just wasting breath. You know what I mean? I need my energy. They also say, that ain't the first time that, I mean, they put that hit on Lucci. You know what I mean? Even in 2016, that's when that's the year they tried to, they went to his mama house and tried to shoot his mama house. And well, actually, I ain't gonna say try to shoot his mama house. Take that back. They shot up his mama house. You know what I mean? Over 20 bullets, ranged out in there. And then after that, they came back, and that's when his mom and the best friend got shot in the leg when they came back with the second attempt on his mom's life. And you know what I mean? That's why I say, this back and forth shit on this internet, man, it's something different. Lucci's baby mama, his daughter, and his brother was in the house also, on that second attempt that they tried to shoot at his mom's house where his mom and her best friend got shot in the leg. So I mean, look at all these innocent lives that's right there. That's getting involved into some. with this street shit, you know, this back and forth internet. And you know, I say that's why I say, you know, I mean, that back and forth going, you know, I mean, with that talking on the internet, you know, I mean, the people tend to perceive your words as whatever they want to perceive them as. You know, I mean, you could just be, you know, liking the lyrics that you put down. You know, what I mean, but if they happen to go, you know, coincide with whatever's happening into that situation at that time, you know, what I mean, you're gonna get hit with that. You know, what I mean, so like something like this, check it out.
Brother shooting on this track, Bad Boy, and he raps. You better watch the way you breathe around me, for that breath be your last, boy. Smith & Wesson 4-5, put a hole in his heart, better not play with me. Killers, they stay with me. I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mention me. I had on Margellas when I shot at them. Act like you want war, and they gonna smoke you like a blunt. Thugs home.
So now, what do you think that's saying? You know what I mean? That's going right at me. I mean, you're not taking a stab at me. You know what I mean? You stabbed me. You know what I mean? So therefore, I have to feel that. You know what I mean? You know, not only am I, you know, feeling that. You know what I mean? It's all around the whole world. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This happening right here with my mama. You know, so therefore, you know, I have to protect my family interests. You know, by all means. You know, but sometimes some things go unspoken. And that's why I salute Lucci, you know what I mean? Because you never heard his name, you know, as far as nothing, you know, into telling them nothing, you know what I mean? And in situations like that, you know what I mean? You know, you'll be reckless when it comes to your mama, you know what I mean? So you got to understand, man, that boy, you know, Rayshawn Bennett, a.k.a. Lucci, he's dangerous, man. I like that boy. You know what I mean? You know, he's solid. You know what I mean? Loyalty above betrayal. You know what I mean? You know, when we talk about loyalty, you know what I mean? We got to talk about him. Ain't nobody speaking about that. You know what I mean? Nobody speaking about nobody talking, you know, not talking and, you know, keeping it real and keeping it 100. You know, everybody always talking about, you know, free this or free that, you know what I mean? You know, come on now, you know, stand up and, you know, salute this guy, you know what I mean? You know, for what he did, you know what I mean? You know, speak more about, you know what I mean, the people that don't talk and stop honoring the snitches, honoring the motherfucking, you know, generals, you know what I mean? The motherfuckers that hold their mouth, that hold that shit, you know what I mean? Because it's us against them. You know what I mean? Who you choosing? I'm choosing us. Back in June 2023, Rayshawn Bennett, aka Lucci, was offered a plea deal. They want Lucci to plead guilty to murder, aggravated assault, racketeering, and I think it's violating the gang something
In June.
and the Gang Racketeering Act, the Street Gang Terrorism Act, and still give him that 20-year sentence. But you know what I mean, he turned down that plea. I don't blame him. Now, if he would have took that deal, he would have had to serve 17 of those years behind bars before he would have walked free. Taking the RICO and murder case to trial with the feds that's a risky move. You know what I mean? Because the feds have I want to say it's kind of like a 98 or 96.98 or 96 percent conviction rate. So you know what I mean, that's a hell of a chance to take right there. You know because if that goes wrong, you know what I mean, you potentially can spend the rest of your life behind bars. You know what I mean? You know, that's a murder case in a RICO trial. You know, so you know that's a hell of a chance to take. You know what I mean? You know, taking the feds to to try. You know, Lucci got lucky because you know, 6 months later they came with another deal on the table. They charged him with violating the Street Gang and Prevention Act. So you know that's the only charge he had to you know, plead guilty to. Um, in exchange for that, you know what I mean, the rest of his charges got dropped. You know, so you know I don't blame him for that. But they still gave him the time that they wanted. You know what I mean, he still got hit with a 10-year sentence. You know what I mean. So, but the judge gave him, if I'm not mistaken, the judge gave him 10 years time served, and then
the next 10 years, you know what I mean? He served 3 years on the next 10 years, but they say he was eligible for parole after doing 40 months. So, you know what I mean? I think Lucci could be, he could be free in a few months now. You know, that's just, he deserved that. He could be free in a few months. You know, he should be. You know, it's crazy that after Lucci took that plea, you know what I mean, rumors started spreading that they kept on saying that he's supposed to testify against Young Thug in in that YSL case. But you know, those was false, you know what I mean? So you can't listen to, you know what I mean, the rumors out here, so once he took that plea deal, they were saying that, you know, he took the plea deal because, you know, maybe because he's going to testify against this Young Thug, situation. But no, that's not it. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, I think they tried to charge him with a first time offender. You know, so being a first time offender, you know what I mean, they strict, but they lenient, a little more lenient on you. You know what I mean? So, this is the first time Lucci spoke in court. You know, these are the first words that he said, you know, when he got the opportunity to speak.
In his plea deal, he apologized to the family of James Adams and said his heart goes out to them.
First off, I want to say my heart goes out to my friend James Adams and his family.
Then he apologized to his own friends and family for putting them through this crazy situation for the last few years.
Also, I want to apologize to my family and my friends for putting them through this stressful process.
It turns out that Lucci might not be the only one coming home soon. After the news broke that CP3 was hit with a 25-year sentence, he hopped on social media and said, "Oh, you thought it was over for me," with a bunch of laughing emojis.
Now you can see what I'm saying when I say this social media stuff. You know, the first thing people do is get on social media and speak about things that is going to potentially get someone either killed or either in the penitentiary. You can talk about a lot of things, but some things you just can't talk about. You know, and what you do, how you do, and the way you do it is not one of them. You know, so I salute Lucci. You know what I mean? You know, coming home. You know, he should be home in 4 months. So I give him a big salute because, you know what I mean, he kept his mouth shut. You know what I mean? Loyalty above betrayal. You know, so a lot of times, you know, we got to salute the people that we know that keep it solid. You know what I mean? You know, so a lot of times, you know, you get mixed up in, you know, just because that's your homeboy, that's your homegirl, but at the same time, you know, behind doors, you know, they're the one that's causing you destruction. So, you know what I mean? You always got to keep your head on the pivot, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Trust no one, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You got to welcome Lucci home and, you know, salute him. Salute, Lucci.
Think it's a game for my nigga stuff, for my nigga share long live not forever, nigga. We just a young fly nigga.
The Paid the Cost podcast. You know what I mean? Subscribe. Check out the latest in news, your updates, and your latest podcast with your handsome Teflon.